Manifest: 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life, a book by Roxie Nafousi. Chapter 1: The Struggle for Clarity. Rachel had always been a dreamer, but for as long as she could remember, her dreams felt out of reach. She had spent years feeling like something was missing. Despite having a successful career as a marketing manager, a loving partner, and a beautiful apartment, she often felt unfulfilled. Every day felt like she was moving through life without direction, unable to fully connect with her passions and goals. One rainy evening, Rachel sat by her window staring out at the city's skyline, feeling lost in thought. She was scrolling through her phone when she stumbled upon an Instagram post that caught her eye. It was from a woman who had just read a book called Manifest: 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life. The post spoke about how the book had helped her find clarity and confidence, allowing her to manifest her deepest desires and create the life she always dreamed of. Rachel was intrigued. She had heard of manifestation before, but the idea always felt too woo-woo for her, something that seemed more like wishful thinking than a practical approach to life. But something about this post sparked a curiosity in her. Maybe this was the answer she'd been searching for. She immediately downloaded the book and began reading that night. Chapter 2: The First Step. Get clear on what you want. The first step in Manifest. 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life was one that Rachel had been avoiding for years, getting clear on what she really wanted. Author Roxie Nafousi explained that before you can manifest your best life, you need to understand your desires clearly. Too often, people spend their lives going after things that aren't in alignment with their true selves, leaving them feeling empty and unfulfilled. Rachel thought about this for a moment. She realized she had spent so many years following what others expected of her, working hard in her career, getting promotions, and achieving success based on societal standards of success, but she never took the time to really ask herself what she wanted. Was it career success? Or was it something deeper? Was it fulfillment, freedom, and the ability to travel more or start her own business? Rachel took out a journal and wrote down all her thoughts. She listed things she was passionate about: photography, traveling, writing, and helping others. She also listed the things that brought her stress: work pressure, feeling disconnected from her true purpose, and the pressure to meet expectations. As she wrote, she realized that her true desires were much different than the life she had been leading. This exercise of getting clear on her desires was eye-opening for Rachel. She felt a sense of clarity she hadn't experienced in years. She now knew that her goal wasn't to climb the corporate ladder, but rather to pursue her passions and create a life of freedom and fulfillment. Chapter 3: The Second Step. Believe it's possible. The second step Nafousi introduced was to believe that what you want is possible. Rachel had been taught to be realistic, to play it safe, and to settle for what she could have rather than what she truly desired. She had always held a belief that her dreams were too big for someone like her, someone who wasn't famous, didn't have a ton of money, or had connections in the right places. Nafousi explained that the universe responds to the energy you put out. If you believe your dreams are impossible, you will attract experiences that reflect that belief. But if you open yourself up to the possibility that anything is achievable, you'll start to see opportunities that bring you closer to your goals. At first, Rachel found this difficult to embrace. She was skeptical of the idea that her thoughts alone could influence her reality. But Nafousi encouraged readers to shift their mindset and trust that the universe was abundant, always ready to offer support when you believed in the possibilities. Rachel decided to start small. She began affirming every morning that her dreams were possible. She wrote down affirmations like, "I am worthy of my dreams. I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to. Opportunities flow to me effortlessly." While she didn't fully believe these words yet, she made an effort to repeat them daily. Over time, something surprising happened. Rachel began noticing changes in her perspective. She started seeing opportunities where before she saw obstacles. She felt more confident, more empowered. The idea that anything was possible began to take root. Chapter 4. The third step: align your thoughts, feelings, and actions. As Rachel continued to read, Nafousi introduced the third step: align your thoughts, feelings, and actions. This was an important realization for Rachel. She had heard the saying, "You attract what you are," but she had never truly understood what that meant. Nafousi explained that, in order to manifest your best life, you need to be in complete alignment with your desires. If you think positively about your goals, but you feel fear, doubt, or resistance, and your actions are misaligned with your dreams, the manifestation process won't work. Alignment is key. Rachel took time to reflect on how she had been living her life. She realized that while she thought she wanted more freedom and fulfillment, her actions weren't supporting those desires. She was still stuck in the hustle of her job, saying yes to everything, and overworking. Her thoughts were focused on, how will I ever have time for photography or travel? Her feelings were full of self-doubt, wondering if she was capable of changing her life. To align her thoughts, feelings, and actions, Rachel had to make a change. She started with small actions. She began saying no to projects that drained her energy. She set boundaries at work, and she carved out time every week to pursue her passions, like photography and journaling. She also worked on shifting her thoughts. When doubt crept in, she replaced it with affirmations like, "I am worthy of pursuing my passions," and "I am capable of creating a life I love." It wasn't an overnight shift, but slowly, Rachel began to see how alignment was transforming her mindset and her life. Chapter 5. The fourth step: take inspired action. The fourth step Nafousi outlined was taking inspired action. This was a concept that Rachel had never fully understood. She thought that manifestation was just about thinking positively and waiting for things to happen. But Nafousi made it clear that manifestation also requires action. Inspired action. Rachel realized that she had been waiting for the perfect moment to pursue her dreams, believing that the right opportunity would magically fall into her lap. But Nafousi emphasized that while the universe provides opportunities, it is up to us to take action when those opportunities arise. This revelation sparked something within Rachel. She stopped waiting for the perfect moment and started acting on small ideas and opportunities. She signed up for photography classes, started a blog to showcase her work, and even took a weekend trip to a destination she had always wanted to visit, documenting her journey along the way. These small actions built momentum, and Rachel began to notice that new opportunities kept presenting themselves. She felt more confident in her decisions and empowered by the progress she was making. Chapter 6. The fifth step: cultivate gratitude. Nafousi's fifth step was one that deeply resonated with Rachel. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude, Nafousi explained, is a powerful tool for manifesting more abundance. When you focus on what you already have and express appreciation for it, you invite more blessings into your life. Rachel had been focused on everything she felt she lacked: more time, more freedom, more money. But Nafousi helped her realize that by appreciating what she already had, she could shift her energy and attract more of what she desired. Each night before bed, Rachel began writing down 3 things she was grateful for. Some days it was simple things: her health, her supportive partner, her morning coffee. Other days it was bigger things, like the success of her photography project or the freedom to take a week off from work. The more she practiced gratitude, the more she found herself appreciating even the smallest moments. This practice brought more peace and contentment into her life, and unexpectedly, it seemed to invite more opportunities and experiences that aligned with her desires. Chapter 7. The sixth step: trust the process. As Rachel continued to manifest, she encountered obstacles and moments of doubt. Nafousi's sixth step, trust the process, was a timely reminder. Manifestation isn't always immediate, and it can require patience and faith. Rachel had moments when things weren't moving as quickly as she had hoped, or when her progress felt like it was stalled. But Nafousi encouraged readers to trust that everything was unfolding as it should. Sometimes the universe works in mysterious ways, and the right opportunities come at the right time. Rachel learned to stop obsessing over every small detail and simply trust that her efforts were leading her in the right direction. She let go of the need for control and embraced the journey, knowing that everything would fall into place when the time was right. Chapter 8. The 7th Step. Give back. The final step in Manifest. 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life was one that felt both profound and humbling. Give back. Nafousi explained that once you start manifesting abundance and living your best life, it's important to give back to others, whether through your time, money, or talents. Sharing your success enriches not only your life, but the lives of those around you. Rachel began volunteering her time at a local photography workshop for at-risk youth. She also donated a portion of her photography earnings to charity. Giving back filled her with a sense of purpose and connection to the world around her. By the time Rachel finished the book, she felt like a completely different person. She had manifested more freedom, more creativity, and more joy in her life. She had learned that manifesting wasn't about waiting for things to magically fall into place. It was about clarity, belief, action, and trust. Rachel was no longer the woman who felt stuck and uncertain. She learned the power of clarity, belief, alignment, inspired action, gratitude, trust, and giving back. She was now living her best life not just as a dreamer, but as someone who had embraced her power to create the life she desired, proving that we all have the power to create the life we truly desire.